Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Star Trek Pathos, Season 1, Episode 11, Part 3. A Thief by Hook or Crook is the episode title. And with me here are some special guests, namely the players. Hello, players.
Hello.
Hello. Greetings. Hello. Welcome. Good evening. Good night.
Yes, all of the above.
Or
So,
whatever. Yes.
hello, VGR. Eliza, Carol, welcome. CangoFango, hello. Nice to see you're joining us again. Roomsbath, hello. That is the stream title. So, let's get right into it. After I remember to actually open up Westaker's character sheet, because I am going to need that. Okay. A new friend? We've got a new friend with us. How did you know that I was introducing a fourth player? ... question mark. No, that's not happening at the moment. I'll introduce them later. No. So, last time, a few things happened. First thing was Shiun got more information about a certain Commodore Cartwright, namely that even though he has a good career, he does have a bit of a reputation for a trickster and a few other details as well.
Playing pranks.
Yes, he was nearly thrown out of the academy that one time. So that's happened. And so, following that, she was trying to figure out how the information that they would still have the box got out. How someone was able to know that to then be able to lay that trap.
Apparently we're in sync with that one.
Exactly the same message. That's funny.
That is really funny.
But yes, you were saying.
Was I? Oh, please remind me. No.
You
fine.
were saying.
So, doing that, you narrowed it down to a few things. One theory, one idea that you wanted to check up on is that perhaps one of the Bastral didn't actually leave when the others left. So, everybody on the ship and the whole ship is going to be searched. Well, it's currently being searched to make sure that you don't have any stowaway energy beings hiding away. Which happens more often than you might think if you don't know Star Trek.
True.
The other thing was that perhaps there is just a spy. Someone, an informant, who is either on your ship or the Yorktown. That will be harder to follow up on, if that is the case.
Right.
Now, we haven't rolled for the search yet, and considering how long that will take, I think we'll do that later, maybe at the end of this session, or somewhere closer to that, depending how much time passes.
We'll see.
So that's happening on the ship. On the planet, the away team, disguised in tourist clothing and raincoats, or rain protection.
Overall thing, raincoats.
Is divided in two, because some didn't make it over a fence, while others did. Sneaking around the basement, we found the Unitech, something that looks like it can create matter out of energy according to pre-defined patterns, along with a secret chamber where there are lots of what was previously thought to be extinct species of flora, as well as lots of pretty shiny crystals. Looking around more, you found a computer access terminal in the main entrance, in the actual part of the mansion. Hooking up those handy hacking tools that you've had with you all the time, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And some great rolls.
Yeah, you know, Zlar doesn't go anywhere without his hacking tools.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because, and some more great rolls happened. Giving you the information of who is residents here. And do you want me to remind you of the names, or have you got them in your notes?
Which?
I've got him in my notes.
Whose names again?
The residents.
Residents and staff.
Yes.
I don't
Benter,
have the...
Daystrom, Spotic, Tivral, Jandor, and Sulark.
Yes.
Or something along those lines of pronunciation.
It's good enough. It's good enough. It's good enough. Don't worry.
Right, thank you.
So
I didn't put in IPA conversions for those, so I can't remember how you pronounced them originally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So another bit of information you found out is that the deliveries to this place are, according to us, have different labels. Most of it is just supplies like food or other stuff that you would need, and special supplies are labeled either as, I believe I said, ancient artifacts or temporal artifacts.
Advanced.
Advanced, not
Artifacts
ancient.
or
I knew it began with A.
Yeah.
Yes, advanced artifacts. That is correct. Yes. So the last shipment of a special artifact was only was only earlier today, and it is listed as being in storage, basically. So the assumption is that that is the only puzzle box that was stolen from you, because that was supposedly delivered here. Now, you didn't find it anywhere in the secret basement area, or the even not so secret basement area, or anywhere near the basement for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
you would probably continue looking for it if you hadn't been caught at the end of the last episode.
Precisely.
We ended with an Andorian man, so blue skin, antenna, white hair,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a little elderly looking, stepping out at the top of that large, impressive looking staircase. And I believe he asked you if you would like to warm up by the fire.
Also, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have I forgotten anything that's important?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
So before we get into the actual game, did we establish whether we would like to remain undercover or whether we would?
No, you did not.
Okay.
We didn't have time to talk
Yeah.
because we were trying to be sneaky, and then they came in.
like
Yes.
sometime beforehand. Like if we're caught, do we say we're Starfleet or
It
do
was
we
not
just...
a conversation about that.
Yeah.
I guess you'll just have to. Although we are on maximum momentum, so if you wanted to have a conversation about that retroactively, like saying, oh yeah, well we off screen we said yeah that's how we're gonna handle the situation. That will cost you a momentum if you want to spend that.
I think the details would be too uncertain.
It's up to you. Or you can
I
just
think
leave it
the
as is.
conversation we had about it was we'd take a swift exit if we could,
Yes.
because otherwise we're not really in a position to do much else. Because we have no weapons, and only one of us, only one of us actually has like the training to do things without weapons effectively. So
Me.
That is true. And since we didn't establish any any fake identities or names or stuff like that, I'd say it's probably.
I'd say that Doviah, as the one with theatrics, should take the lead.
Yes, good point.
Yeah.
That sounds like a reasonable thing to do.
Oh yeah, definitely the first trash star.
So,
Yeah. Also, introductions. We've got those.
you're right. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
We didn't do that.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm CangoFango, or Cango, and I play Doviah Drenlich Twossock, who's the communications officer on the USS Pathos, who's also a human.
Great. Dodrebur, Dodd, Captain Shiun, Vulcan. Go.
I am Sir Rogue, and I play Nero, the flight controller.
And I'm the GM, if you couldn't tell. So, aka the one who does the recaps.
AKA Shoutouts. Okay, so let's get started.
If we had forgot about that, then you would have been in darkness this entire stream.
Yeah, I know.
So, the scene is this. The guy's just walked out. He's just said this. You've got Zular there, who's... Would you've just started disconnecting your hacking tool stuff, or would that still be all connected and set up?
What?
The hacking tools you've got set up to the computer interface.
Infamous, hello.
Hello.
I would try to get them disconnected and put away in time for them to enter the room, but I'm not sure if I could. We were kind of rushed.
Yeah, you can... Tell you what, let's make it a roll. I'm going to make it a difficulty 2 and complication range 2. It's going to be daring plus engineering. Why not?
Definitely no focuses. Since we apparently have full momentum, may I have a die?
Yes,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
sure.
Let's see if this works.
Nope, it does not.
Ooh,
16, 18, 13.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't say that's not what today's gonna be like.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah.
So, you
I mean,
hear
it's...
you hear Westacre saying, "There's someone coming. We need to go." He's walking down the stairs. You try to disconnect stuff, but it's too late. So all that stuff is still connected, and there are people. There are people coming from behind you, from either side of that main entrance, the 2 corridors leading in. They, looking back, you can see they look like they're probably some sort of security force. They look like the Vulcans. And they have some sort of ray guns. So, in that situation, what would Doviah like to say?
Good question. So did the man ask us to follow him to sit down by the fire?
No,
Or?
he just said, "You must be shivering. Would you like to warm up by the fire?" Only he said it more,
Yes.
more mysteriously devious than that. You have no guns, Eliza. They wouldn't have allowed you onto the planet with them through the transport or through customs. You're here as tourists, essentially.
Mm-hmm. I'm just not sure whether we should keep with us being undercover or whether we should say
that is up to you.
Okay, well, Starfleet.
It's up to you. Unless you want to.
Whatever.
As we say,
That's the only thing.
Hey, psst, hey, boss. What's our plan here? But that would really
No.
work.
It's an in the moment reaction. Just Zular's not going to take the lead in this situation.
Of course, I know.
Nero's probably not going to take the lead in this situation.
Nope.
Doviah would make the most sense as
I
the
know.
theatrics, or Westaker as the first officer, but since he's an NPC, more likely you.
Yeah, that makes sense. I say, wait, you want to the fireplace? Really? Do you mean that?
As he begins to take a few steps down towards you, down the staircase, kind of running his hand along the railing, says, yes, old places like this tend to have fireplaces instead of other climate control devices. As he's walking down the steps.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
I think Zular's
to
trying to
where?
just kind of like casually put the hacking equipment away.
okay, to where's he walking to?
He's walking down the steps towards.
It's probably
all of
not
you.
effective based on the roll that we did earlier.
Oh,
but,
towards us.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
That'll probably help a bit. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And we've still got our raincoats on in the building, in the whole basement.
I mean,
Where
I
would
didn't
we
think
put
you would
them?
leave them behind.
Yeah.
There wasn't
Sure.
any a convenient coat rack downstairs.
Okay.
So, what do you say?
I say, surely you must be wondering what we are doing here.
The thought had crossed my mind.
Then I'm not sure if I really comprehend your reaction.
He motions over to the security personnel behind you at the entrance corridors to this entranceway.
Right?
One of them steps forward and says, "Accompany us. You will not resist."
I follow.
Westaker looks like he's about to say something, but then thinks better of it and kind of just nods. You just managed to pack up all the stuff,
Okay.
if you want to follow as well, both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Zular is going to pay very close attention to the route they're taking
Mm-hmm. Good
and
thing.
anything of note that we pass by.
Great.
Okay, good thing to note. So, you walk for a couple minutes. There is a very old style elevator. Takes you up to the floor above. and you are led to what looks like a study of sorts. Old Edwardian style. There's a fireplace there, as said, and there is fire, but no smoke. The fire is emitting heat. It's obviously some sort of gas that's being burned instead of coal or wood.
Right.
Windows looking out. You hear the rain peltering against the surface. Desk, rugs. You can see all sorts of artifacts on display on pretty much all the other surface of the walls. There are like china plates and dishes. There are portraits. There are animal skulls. There are some of them are narwhal tusks. There are all sorts of these collector's items, shall we say. There is a kind of a sofa that's at an angle to the fireplace, and he sits down behind his desk with the window behind him, making for very dramatic illuminations when there's a lightning strike outside. And you are indicated to sit down on the sofa by the fireplace.
Okay, where are the security guards? Where have they gone?
They've come in with the room as well. They're standing over by the door.
Okay, I cautiously do so. Sit down.
Okay. Westaker stands. He goes over. He's standing there and he looks at whoever the Zendorian is. One moment, I need to quickly fix a little thing in my notes. There we go, that's better. So when he says, I assume you are Dr. Benter? Kind of. That is a reasonable assumption. How do you know me? He responds, says, we've had dealings with your associates. We don't like having things stolen. And he raises a hand, says, before we get into anything more, why don't we enjoy a little refreshment or light snack? Goes over and he pulls on a rope. A minute later, woman comes walking in and he says he's asked her to get some specific thing to eat. Goes away. A couple minutes later, she returns with the dishes. Says, please help yourselves, and if this is not to your liking, we can give you whatever you want. We are very, very well stocked and have an excellent chef.
Yeah, Neo has slight flashbacks.
Okay. What is it that you would
Zolar
like?
kind of looks at it.
It looks... No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just continue.
I don't eat in public.
Says, I assure you, this place is very private. Which brings me to the first point of order. Why are you here? At this point, Westaker says, Westig at this point, he's still standing, says, like I said, we are here because something was stolen from us and we want to get it back.
Indeed. We have reason to believe that a stolen artifact is somewhere in this building, around this building, and we've tried to recover it.
He says, I will ask you again to sit down, but only once.
Ular sits on the arm of a chair.
Okay.
Just 'cause he can.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. However, Westaker is not sitting down. Moment passes. Well, is Nero sitting down?
No, he's just a bit like, like a little paranoid
Okay. So
from the like looking around,
Mhm.
twitchy.
So says Tivral, make our guests comfortable. And this Vulcan looking woman steps forward and physically tries to grab you, move you to make you sit down in places. Nero, do you resist?
Yeah. 'Cause I'm freaking out a little bit. Why not?
Okay. If you resist, that is going to be a competed roll. So that is security plus daring.
Right. Oh, this is not gonna go well.
Well,
Okay. Important. It's just. Daring, security, okie dokie. Complication range, is that one?
Complication range is just one.
Okay. 2!
Ooh. Okay.
nice.
I'm gonna buy a die. Plus her special thing.
Okay. Probably.
Let's get a 1, come on.
Okay.
That's a lot of dice.
It is. Because some of the NPCs have special rules.
Hmm.
And this isn't something that I've added to it. It's in the rule book. Some of the notable NPCs have special rules, specific rules. That are, like, for example, Ferengi have a thing where I think they can re-roll dice when negotiating or something like that. So that is 3 successes. So
Weird place to find a notable NPC. Weird place to find a notable NPC.
Yes. So you try to resist, but in the end she does manage to put you down, sit you down, turns to Westaker to do the same. He is going to try to grab her ray gun.
Huh. Okay.
As she's getting close, he's going to try to do that. So, actually, well, let's see how this goes. He's got... Sure, that focus applies. Daring plus security. Okay, and he's going to use the value of 1 chance, don't lose it,
That fits.
to spend his determination
Great.
for critical success.
Yay.
So, do you want him to buy dice?
One
Yes.
couldn't hurt.
Give him a die.
Agreed.
Okay. So
This
that's
better be good.
3 dice he's rolling. There we are.
Ooh.
And he's
Well,
got cautious security, so he can re-roll one of those.
the
And
first.
should he re-roll the 19?
Let's.
At 19.
Do you want him to re-roll it?
Yes.
I mean, it's already a 5. But
Should we do it?
it would be handy.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, why
Let's
not?
do it. Let's do it tonight.
Okay,
Sure.
let's see.
This
how
is
the-
our
One.
Let's Do It episode, apparently.
So let's see if it
So
works.
let's do it.
Yep. There we are.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
3 for 5, 6.
Nice.
Okay. So let's see. She gets. I mean,
Not 6.
no, not 6. So, as she comes over to Westacre, tries to pull the same shenanigans. Comes over, tries to grab him by the shoulder. He kind of manages to maneuver under her arm, grab onto her belt, get the ray gun, pushes her back, and trains it on the Andorian. He says, like I said, we want what is ours. He seems quite calm. Says, very well, let's talk about it. Which one of you will do the talking?
That would be me.
Okay. So then go ahead.
So at this point.
At this point, it doesn't seem like we're really hiding who we are and what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't feel like
Westaker's
it would
being
fit.
very straightforward.
I don't think it would fit with Doviah to come up with some fictional characters and stuff like that. We are some other people. No.
The character
Except
with
Doviah has
theatrics
focus in
totally
theatrics.
doesn't fit.
Yes,
Yeah.
but still just lying to him now when it will likely. The truth will likely come out eventually, so I don't know. I don't probably say the truth then.
I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do. I'm saying it would be reasonable for your character to do it. But
to
go
be
on.
to be able to do it, yes, but
Yes.
yeah.
Well, don't rely on Neo. He's freaking
Okay.
the hell out.
So. One moment. Just in my notes, one moment. Okay. So just before we get into the actual role playing, I want to get something straight. So the freighter that Shoutouts was on, that never had a name, right? No designation.
What?
Oh,
It had one, we just didn't really talk about it.
okay. So the one with the. One moment. So that's something. So
What? I'm confused. The freighter.
I don't know why. That seemed like a very clear question
Well,
that also
Mhm.
didn't have a very necessary answer.
Well, the freighter was the SS Perishable, because that's what the episode was named after, Perishable Absconsion. And then you found it parked under the other name of, I think it was Amber Tramp? Yes, SS Amber Tramp. Is that
I
what
don't
you
think
meant?
someone forgetting the name of your ships
Okay.
is a cause for confusion.
No, I meant. Well, to me, it sounded like Kango didn't know if the ship had a name, not what it was. So then I thought maybe he meant a different ship than what. Anyway,
So-
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay. So that was in the previous episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
But yes, the freighter that Shoutouts was on would have been the Perishable.
Okay. And so the puzzle box we found. I don't fully remember. So we found that the puzzle box was gone when the freighter also.
After the
absconded? Yes.
Yeah. So at the end of the episode, when they were gone, we
Mhm.
found the puzzle box also gone.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
And looking back at the internal
Mhm.
sensor logs, it was
Tracked them.
there right up until that transporter issue, that incident where she almost died. And after that, when internal sensors were repowered again,
Which
it
was a
gone.
dumb plan in any case.
It was probably a dumb plan.
So-
yes.
So when we transported her onto our ship, just right at the beginning, pretty much, that's where the puzzle box was also gone, right?
According to internal sensors, yes.
Estimates, yeah.
Okay. And now we found this ship again under a different name?
Yes.
Yes.
Where exactly was it? Was it
Here on the planet, parked in the underground
under, yeah.
parking lot, essentially.
Benter was also the name listed as the contact for the shipment that the freighter was making on this planet.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
The ancient Earth artifacts.
Okay, so. Right, Dr. Benter. I'm going to start from the top, say what happened, and why we're here now. So, we're part of Starfleet officers. About a few out of character. How long was ago? How long was that ago?
What?
The freighter, where that happened, where we found Stadtholz and all that.
It
Like
was days. It was days ago. It happened maybe
a week ago.
maybe like
Okay.
5 days ago ish. I'd have to check the
That's
star
fine.
dates.
That's
but
fine. Just
something
roughly.
like
just
that.
roughly. Okay, so sure. Yes, a few days ago, we rescued a we rescued someone from the SS Perishable, Catherine Stadtholz, and our internal sensor. We had a V1E artifact, a puzzle box, on board, and our sensors have shown that when we transported her to safety, she had a distress call. We tried to save her. The puzzle box was also gone, and we only found that out afterwards. And when the ship left, we found that that's where we found that it was gone. So we tracked it down, and we, through various means, we found out that the recipient of a shipment was, well, you, Dr. Benter. So we went down to the planet's surface and we tried to look for the artifact. And there we found the same freighter as is perishable, only under a different name, in the underground, just beneath us now. And yes, that's
Underground
where,
in the city.
in the city. Right. Oh yeah. So we found the freighter underneath the city. And yeah, we explored.
It is unfortunate that your possession was taken from you. However, I am not responsible for what my pilots do. I suggest you turn to planetary security with your matter.
Well, you see, there's the problem. Well, there are two problems with that. But, the issue here is that, the puzzle box wasn't on the freighter anymore, and the only place it went was here. So, gonna need you to explain that one.
The only shipment which I've received from the Amber Tramp was a selection of ancient Earth artifacts, proudly on display on the wall. Indicates over to a set of what looks like Victorian dishes and like lead toys with like little scraps of paint still on them and things like that.
Right. Yeah. That, collection of Earth artifacts that was in a container way too large for them that prevented scanning and probably would have only caused them to get damaged in the flight. Yeah.
How my pilot chooses to allocate her storage space aboard her vessel is not my concern.
It's not about the storage space on the vessel, it's the container she got it in. Be a weird way to store it. Trust me, I've seen all kinds of shipments.
Before we continue, perhaps you should allow one of my servants to calm this one down. Looks over at Nero.
I don't think any of your servants are going to make him any calmer than he is. I think he'll probably just make it worse,
would likely
honestly.
alarm him even more.
I find that chamomile tea is very soothing.
I think giving him anything to drink is a bad idea. Only make him more nervous, really.
Let's just leave it for now. I'm sure he will recover in due time.
If you insist. By the way,
Yes.
I am fully aware of your incursion into my basement.
Yes.
That really would not sit well with planetary security, especially given that Starfleet members are not permitted to assist, let alone conduct, criminal investigations on this world. And if you refuse that it is a criminal investigation, well, then you are just common criminals. What do you say to that?
I say you're deflecting.
We want to know where the puzzle box is. As you said, we've looked in the basement. We found nothing of similarity.
if you are Starfleet, and I do not doubt that you are, then pointing that gun at me is an empty threat. The way I see it, even with you having that gun, I hold all the cards.
I don't know. Seems like there's a lot of fragile stuff in here. Real valuable, I'd think.
He was holding his hands in like a scholar's cradle. He puts them down. He says, "You would destroy invaluable items that would benefit generations to come for this?"
I'm not an archaeologist, and this is an important item that got stolen, so, why don't you just give us the information?
That would be the easiest solution.
I mean, if you're not a criminal,
You have nothing
what's
to
the
hide.
harm?
If you have nothing to hide, you can give us the information on the puzzle box's location.
I will agree to a more private conversation if you lower that gun and give up your recording equipment. At this point, Westaker says, looks over at Nero and says, "Should we take his offer?" I understood nothing of what you just said.
You weren't supposed to.
I think you said, yes, take that offer. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't say
Sounded
yes
like
or no.
gibberish to me. But
Yeah,
then
but the
again,
first
I'm
thing-
not the linguist.
The first thing I've heard is, oh yeah.
So then Westaker just takes no tricks. He gives a solemn nod.
Okay.
And as Westaker slowly lowers his gun, do the rest of you give up your recording equipment? So that's your tricorders. Yeah, it would be just your tricorders because your communicators aren't used for recording. They use, they have that functionality. So do you give up your tricorders?
Yes.
And
although-
all of
Getting
the,
these back?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, so it says, your equipment will be returned to you in due time.
You, want to put a limit on that? I don't know, 6 hours, 12 hours, 24?
Your equipment,
I like guarantees.
Your equipment will be returned to you when you leave the premises. At the latest.
Without tampering?
Of course.
Because we will know if there was tampering, even if we can't undo it.
He just says, of course. Wait, what is that? I sense, out of character, I sense an insight check coming.
I would love to make an insight check if my character was good at them.
Yes.
And
sense
not
motive.
a support character who's generally not good at many things.
Mhm.
Well, Westacre can lead, and you can assist if you want to. Or Cango can assist.
Sure.
Probably be inside security, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's 11 for me.
There's a lot of chat messages. I didn't even see those.
Yeah.
I wasn't roll
Want
20.
to check your character sheet first?
Yeah. Insight plus security. I'm just assisting, so that's just 1 die. Okay.
What's the number? That was the
Alright,
question.
that's 12.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Once Westacre rolls.
So then,
Okay.
Westacre, do you want to buy him to buy dice? We've got 4 momentum.
I'd love
left.
him to buy a die.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
let's do it.
Okay, so rolling 3. And does the focus apply? Not really in this case. So here we go.
Well, I'll assist on that. Actually, I can't.
But hold on.
Ah.
He's got cautious security.
Okay.
Yes. Let's see how this goes.
One last hope for this roll.
So
look
now
at
you can
that.
assist.
Okay.
Great. Here we go.
Ah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, there's still a chance that. Okay. So those are 2 failures,
Okay.
which means that you've got 1 success. He's got no successes.
Yay.
Yeah, I am keeping an eye on the messages as they come in. I'm just not reading them out loud, but I am keeping an eye on them.
Okay.
So,
Mhm. Okay.
as he says that, you reckon that he probably won't tamper with him, but he might do something else, like have a look at what you recorded.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of your feeling of the
Ah.
situation. Like, he seems serious about not removing anything or tampering with any of the readings, but there is still something there.
Okay. Right.
So, do you give him your tricorders?
I don't know, do the 2 who noticed this want to say anything about it? Raise a question? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So I saw it and Westacre saw it.
Yes.
Yes, but in this case, since he's being played by the game master, I would prefer it if you brought the matter up.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so they'll just be in storage, right? You won't look at them. Just a question.
The data on them will be unharmed. I give you my word. And he
That's
extends his hand.
still not an answer.
He extends his hand. Do you give him the tricorders?
Will you look at the data on them or not? Just
He
the
does
last
not
question.
respond. Does not respond.
We can go? Cool.
Okay, it's a yes
I got-
then. Okay, I'll just hand it over, but
Okay.
I'm still myself,
Right.
like, as to why I'm still fairly sure that he will look at it if he won't answer no.
So, are you I don't really trust him. So does everyone give them, yes?
Zular holds his up.
Okay, he takes it. Nero?
Goes up and leaves. Does anybody stop me? We can go now, right? Yeah, let's
Well,
go.
if you get up to leave without giving your tricorder, then you are going to be stopped and directed over to give your tricorder.
We leave him, right?
Westaker says, give him your tricorder.
Yeah?
Give him your tricorder. We need to find out what's going on here. I don't like it either, but just play along.
Mhm.
Really slow and shaky gets go to the train.
Okay, so you slowly and shakily go and give him. He says, I don't bite. And you can see his antennae kind of wobbling around as he says that a little bit. Picking up probably your fear pheromones as your... any other issued... would have any...
Well, yeah.
Yeah, true.
True.
That is true. But would it hold up to the scrutiny of Viuni technology? That's the question.
Who
What do you mean?
knows?
Yeah.
So, you've now all given up your stuff.
Yeah.
Westaker keeps his gun, because that wasn't part of the agreement.
Okay.
And he, as he begins to lead the way out, turns over and says, leave us. There will be no trouble. And one of them says, that does not appear to be a logical conclusion. And then he turns and he says, I said there will be no trouble. And they nod and they leave, as he then begins to lead you to another room. I'm assuming Zular is keeping mental map of where you're going as well.
Yep.
So you are led to another room. It looks like what's the best way of describing this? Okay, well, it looks basically like a reading room. Windows with comfortable chairs, another fireplace. Notably, all the shelves are empty. As you enter, he closes the door behind all of you, with him in the room as well. Of course.
Yes, okay.
Then he sits down and says, isn't this so much more comfortable?
No.
The heat
Leaving would be much more fun.
Still a room.
says, now, I'm in the mood for a snack. Leans over to a little intercom panel, presses a button. He says, please bring up a serving of Vulcan pineapple. Places it. 2 minutes later, she comes in, brings it, and says, please help yourselves. If you would like something else, we can offer you literally anything you wish. Anything at all.
My complaint still stands. I won't be eating anything.
As you wish. Then she says, actually, out of character, I will quickly need to look at my... Okay. So, I'm...
Oh, and if anyone decides to do an insight check, he's being honest. For the record.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so as the woman, she seems a little annoyed. Ooh, that's the wrong document, one moment. She seems a little annoyed and says, will that be everything, Mr. Mess? And then he kind of raised an eyebrow and says, Dr. Benter. Says, yes, that will be everything. I shall contact you if we require anything else. You may leave us. She leaves with a clear look of almost, well, annoyance on her face. As he's eating, and says, Let us talk hypotheticals, shall we? I enjoy hypotheticals. Do you?
Depends.
Wethig says, not really, but if it gets things moving along, sure. And he says, ha ha ha. Right. In the hypothetical situation that I do know where your object of value is, why are you so interested in it? Sentimental value? Monetary value?
It is ours. We have not sold it to anyone, we have not made a deal. It has been taken from us, and we would like to have it back.
People always have reasons for doing things. I myself am a collector because it satisfies my needs, both on a personal level as well as a professional level. What is so special about this particular artifact? Why do you want it back so badly? That you would risk criminal prosecution?
Seems like the business of the captain to me. It's her puzzle box.
So you are here on behalf of the captain's orders?
Can't remember.
Convenient.
I literally can't remember. So we'll say that's in character too.
Sure. So then again, convenient.
But I think there's a weird closed circuit thing happening in any case.
Explain.
Well, you know, we take shore leave on a little trading port for a bit. A trading port that has some Viuni artifacts on it, including a puzzle box, some of which are being sold by someone named Malar.
Oh yes. I've made his I've met him
whose
once.
relative had apparently died and left the artifacts to him.
His relative has not only left the artifacts, but the entire estate to me. The artifacts that fool took were given to him by a court of law.
I see.
He was entirely
Interesting.
oblivious of their significance, value, and potential danger.
Danger, huh?
Oh yes.
Kind of danger.
I'm intrigued as well.
The sort of danger that might arise from opening Pandora's box, the Vault of the Ancients, God's grave. The sort of danger that is existential.
Right.
I see.
Does Doviah maybe want to
Is
ask some
that-
questions about like the radiation poisoning or something? I
Oh,
don't know. You
yes.
know, the one who experienced it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. The crystal, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, and actually about that, Malar also sold me a Viuni crystal ball, a crystal sphere. Lovely artifact from looks, but it gave me radiation poisoning. So, yes.
Case and point.
I don't know. Radiation poisoning doesn't sound very existential to me.
Depends. Might go for worse.
Are you taking his side
I don't
of the
think
argument?
it depends.
Kango, are you taking his side of the argument now?
No. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
What else did you have in mind? The puzzle box? Other artifacts we don't know of?
It is always...
I'd like to get an answer to the existential radiation poisoning thing before we move on.
He says...
Yes.
It is not always the first step that kills. It is always the last.
It's still not existential.
It is always
It's
dangerous.
science.
It is always dangerous when fools meddle in things they do not understand. Especially such curious people as you yourselves are.
Yeah, curious people who scanned a thing when boarding the ship, and later it suddenly had radiation coming out of it. For no reason. Not really an existential danger as a dangerous object. With a very measurable danger.
Yes. The things you've mentioned sound much like a much greater threat.
And yes, Zular is going to nitpick on semantics because he's Tellarite.
Yes, that's great. Although, there are surprisingly few insults for the time being.
Yeah, the way I speak, I do not insult things, so
Yeah.
it would just feel weird in my brain to actually produce insults for things. I'm not wired for it.
That's okay. So
Alright.
let's just say that he thinks the insults.
Yeah.
So then he says, how much do you know of the Viuni?
Even for Federation databases, I don't think we've got much.
He kind of under his breath says, and the fools stumble in the dark. That is an important distinction there. um, so then says, the Viuni were a people who lived hundreds of years ago, who mastered the art and the science of temporal entanglement.
Finally.
Haha. There's the linking of objects or people with more than just the present moment. It is not directly time travel, although objects can be passed to the future or present in some cases. Their technological development grew exponentially. To the point of their disappearance. Only a select few, let's just call them caches, remained. Occasionally, items are discovered. Items are sold, and items are collected. If you disturb their technology too much, experiment with it, follow in their footsteps, you risk waking the dragon.
While they're doing all that, Neo's just touching stuff and poking it because he had no trigger, so he's just to poke stuff.
Okay, so as you poke stuff, you realize that the entire thing is a hologram. No, it is all very much real.
Okay.
It is all
He
very
picks
much
it up
real.
and runs out the door.
No.
Oh, no, sorry.
No. It is all very real, natural materials.
Mm-hmm.
He says,
So I'm personally going to
Hmm?
believe it ain't real, just from a point of character sake. Doesn't
Okay.
believe it.
Okay, sure. So then he says,
Interesting.
now I have answered some of your questions. Now you answer mine. Why do you want the box, really?
From what I understand, I think it's not really necessary anymore. But, concerning that someone else wanted it.
Yes, it is. It is the captain's possession, and it has been taken from the captain. As I said, it's of course different if a deal is made, if exchange, but it's just been taken.
Yeah. Strictly speaking, I think it was essentially kept as a souvenir of sorts. Yeah. Lost its use. But, it was stolen from a Federation ship, so we kind of want to know why someone wanted it that badly.
Yes.
Thinks for a moment. And then he says, "It is true that the vault is now breached. But the key that you had opened so many more doors. Doors that need to stay closed. Hypothetically speaking. Of course."
So you're collecting the other puzzle boxes that were casually laid out at that trading post too, I assume?
If I were interested in them, I'm certain they would already be in my possession.
For all we know, you might have them in your possession already. We don't know.
So hypothetically speaking, there's someone who's a little concerned about what might happen if people go digging around with some artifacts, and say rather than lodging a complaint, expressing a concern, they steal an object just through a pretty stupid and elaborate plot. Seems a little less friendly.
Friendliness is a secondary concern. It has always
legality.
been... It has always been the way of the Keymasters to leave the details up to the individual operators. I cannot vouch for the cleverness of my associate. All I know is that she gets results.
Alright. She has the methods, but you have the knowledge. So, really, if these incidents continue to happen, whose fault is it that these things continue to fall into the wrong hands when no one knows that they're dangerous? I think we had that problem with some other things we interacted with that didn't want to say why things were dangerous, but continued to insist they were, to the point that we were attacked.
Yes.
Fun game you're all playing here.
Please elaborate.
Starts with a B, ends with an all.
Some S's in between.
Some S's in between. The Bashal are a nuisance, but they essentially have the right idea. The difference is they seek to destroy, we seek to regulate.
By whatever means necessary. Correct?
It is a difficult game, as you called it, that is being played. Morals have a place in it. Morals are, in fact, at the heart of it. Now, it would appear to me as though your true purpose in seeking what was stolen is more so information rather than the item itself.
About sums it up as far as I can tell.
Westacre kind of thinks for a moment. He says, we'll settle for information and I'll try to convince the captain to leave you the box. He responds with saying, I see you are capable of making oh so generous offers. Very well. What information do you seek that I have not already given you?
Above my pay grade.
To find it. Yeah, that's good information. Yeah, where is it? So we can get it. So, at this point, Westacre kind of... that would be another one. Another good one. Westacre says... Maybe we can arrange a meeting with the captain.
Captain, yes. I was thinking the same thing. It is, after all, her possession.
Says, very well. I will register your captain as a visitor. She will then be permitted to beam directly here.
Right.
At this point, what is Nero doing?
Oops, forgot that, yeah. Still touching stuff.
Okay.
Sorry, what's in the actual room?
There is a comfortable sofa, a few armchairs, a fireplace, again with a fire that does emit heat but is smokeless. windows with masonry on the edges of them, that have arches on the top, looking out into the front of the house. There are empty shelves, carpets, and wood paneling on the floors. Also a small lamps on the ceiling. Well, on the near the ceiling on the walls as well. Other than that, the
I'm
room is
gonna. Put rock in the corner.
Okay. Do any of the players want to tend to Nero?
Lara's not a people person.
Are we staying here now? I'm not sure what's...
Apparently we're calling the captain to beam over.
Okay.
Or at least it has been suggested
Yeah.
by our host.
Okay. Sure, then I'll stay here. Yeah, of course. Sure.
The question was, is anyone going to do
Same.
anything about Nero rocking in a corner?
Is I don't know if Dr. Benter isn't doing anything, then I mean if he's fine with it.
To him, Nero is a stranger. Doviah and Nero work on the bridge together frequently. Like, basically all the time. Probably
Okay.
for quite a while.
So he's what? It's a rocking chair. What was it?
Just on the floor, rocking back and forth.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. So
Yeah,
say,
the thing with keeping notes is, it's good,
Yeah.
but if it pulls you out of what's going on,
Mhm.
then might be a bit detrimental.
yeah. So say. I mean, he's the first officer. I'm not sure if I don't know.
He is.
Westaker is the first officer.
sorry.
You are the communications officer. Nero is the flight controller.
Thank
Nero has a bad history with being in the base
Yeah.
of a set of people who are interested in Viuni artifacts, to be very specific.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure.
So what do you want to do?
An experience I believe you also had.
So say. All right, Nero. I believe that will do.
Very comforting. Very comforting.
Doviah, the best counselor.
So,
So who's calling the captain?
okay. I mean, if you really don't want to interact in this way, you don't have to. So, Westaker reaches for his communicator, flips it open, says, Westaker to the Pathos. It's patched through. On the bridge, of course, for convenience sake, let's say that Shiun is there. Gets patched through to
Okay.
onto the speakers. Says, we have found very interesting things concerning Viuni technology. We have found out interesting information. We could find out more, however, it would really be better if you handled negotiations yourself. The situation at the moment is under control.
I see. It sounds like you'll have an interesting report to file later.
Yes.
Where's your location?
Gives the coordinates. You have permission to beam straight to these coordinates.
Very well. I will arrive shortly.
Okay. So, would you like to do any prep work before you go?
The awaiting checklist.
Please don't say anything about phaser rifles.
No.
Good.
So, yeah.
Trying to think if there's anything.
Also, he didn't say anything about the captain not being allowed to bring her communicator, right? Or stuff like that?
You still have your
He
communicators.
didn't say anything about communicators at all.
the tricorders, I mean. Sorry. That's my
No,
bad.
he didn't mention anything about what equipment. But then
Okay.
again, there is such a thing as what's expected.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
The captain wasn't told not to bring anything.
I'd say it's pretty expected that tricorders are brought.
Okay. I think Shiun would probably have a data pad for reference to some of the minutia of what's been happening over quite some period of time since we first interacted with Viuni artifacts. And probably would have a tricorder which she would probably ask permission to use. But that's for later.
Okay. So, and if you can always buy stuff with what's it called?
Momentum.
Advantages.
Yeah.
If you've got momentum.
Yeah. A
So-
torch.
And before she beams down, she will basically say something along the lines of, Zaveru, I trust you can handle the search without my presence.
Yeah, of course, Captain. Everything's well under control. We've not discovered anything out of the ordinary yet. I will inform you
Then-
as soon as something... Actually, do you want me to call you if you're down on the planet if we discover anything? Or should I wait until you come back?
Don't give details, but do call.
Right.
And perhaps have someone monitoring the life signs in the area I beam down to. Just in case.
Sure. Anything you want, Captain.
Really?
Okay. So, guess
Who's coming?
it's time for Keithran to do his stuff.
Okay, right.
So, the infamous Wrecker, aka the infamous storyteller. Oh dear. Well, there you don't need to roll because this is first bottle hide back. Okay.
Clown.
So, you've just been told these are the coordinates, get the transporters ready. You get the transporters ready. Captain comes in. Everything looks fine, everything's okay. And you get beamed down. You dematerialize. As you rematerialize, You do not have several Tommy guns pointed at you. It's a reference to for those of you watching, it's a reference to the episode A Piece of the Action of the original series. Friends to be reinitializing the photonic matrix initializer when she enters.
Good thinking there.
Good thinking. That'll work, definitely. Right, so beam down. You can see the situation. That you've got Westacre, you've got Doviah and Nero in a corner, along with an Andorian man, a little elderly. Thunder strikes outside as the window gets pelted with rain. So, you beam in. What do you want to do?
Hello. Captain Shiun of the USS Pathos. I hear you have some information to share on the Viuni artifacts.
I do. It is a pleasure to meet you. Please, sit down. At this point, Westacre shows you that he has got a gun still. So that he has one.
My knowledge of local mannerisms may be somewhat lacking, but I do believe in most cultures an introduction is followed by a reciprocated introduction.
Oh, yes, of course. I am Dr. Benter, or as some know me, Benting Massar. I have other aliases as well, but they are not relevant.
How's that spelled?
One moment. I know it's a strange...
I think I've heard it before, but
There we go.
having the spelling would help look it up.
Just one A. Just one A, yes. Good to know.
That's what I thought. Ah, the one who bought the other spheres. Bought. But that was something that was told to us, it looks like by Malar,
Mm-hmm.
when we checked in with him later on.
Yep.
So, yeah. And the one where you mentioned the Keymasters.
Mm-hmm.
Benting Massar, Andorian last residence freighter, but very little information on it. Reference being member of a secret group. Multiple accounts of having been fined for trading illegal goods. Pattern of activity, a few systems, including the one with Brenner's Star. We'll do more research. We did not do more research.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing more research now.
One of those things that got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. Between episodes and
Or
new
got lost
things
between
important.
episodes, yeah.
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 So,
That is a familiar name.
your name is familiar to me as well. Oh, I forgot to congratulate you on your awards. Congratulations.
You are very knowledgeable.
I keep an eye on the scientific institutes. You never know what they'll be up to. Now, would you care for something to eat or drink? I assure you, it is perfectly safe. I have no reason to tamper with the food.
While you likely do not, this is a matter which has been under investigation for quite some time now, and I would rather get to the point.
Ah, yes. I appreciate the straightforwardness that your people tend to display. It is very refreshing. I looked into the teachings of Surak myself, although I did not care for a lot of it. But that is beside the point.
Indeed.
I am willing to make a trade. I remain in possession of the item that was taken from you, and in return I will provide you with information. Or credits if you prefer that, but I doubt you would.
Information would be the more valuable commodity here.
Okay, at this point...
Speaking of which, if perhaps my crew would like to fill in the details on what I missed.
Yes.
For the sake of brevity...
Including the reason for our flight controller's incapacity.
Mm-hmm.
There's just ridiculous stuff going on in chat. It's wonderful. Anyway, so...
Indeed.
It tastes of the enemy within. Yeah. Anyway, so... And also of Thomas Riker. Anyway, so...
Anyway.
For the sake of brevity, should we have...
the explanation, so the repetition of what the group had already learned, we can have happen just like that, just off screen.
Yes.
However, if someone would like to explain what's going on with Nero, I would like to have that role played.
Yeah.
So, at this point, Westaker says he is having an episode, I believe. Doviah might know more, considering that she was in the same situation. I think it's connected to the Bashal incident.
Perhaps so.
Perhaps so. Nero?
Yeah? Did you get
Are
him?
you alright?
Think so. Yes, he will. He will.
Do you need
I
help?
assure you that you are still located on the planet in a mansion.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yes.
We are
Okay.
absolutely certain.
Cool. True? Okay. You sure?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. I might need to go to get some help for this. Maybe we'll get back to the ship.
Of course.
I'm just gonna sit here.
Very well. If there are any more difficulties, do inform me.
Yeah,
I
think I'll be alright.
have offered him chamomile tea to soothe his nerves, however, he refused it.
I am not surprised, given previous events.
Of which I'm not partial
The
to.
Bashal were not interested in sharing information.
No, they rarely are. Now, What would you like to know? And as he moves his hands back, you can see that his antennae kind of fold out of the way to allow his hands to pass.
Your Keymasters and the Bashal are two separate factions working in general toward the same goal of ensuring these Viuni artifacts do not cause further harm, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Very well.
However, our approach, along with the preservation, is significantly less religious than the Buschald's approach.
You are the first individual I've been in contact who had any insights on the Bashal and their motivations. Since they continue to make themselves a threat to the Federation's activities when we were uncertain what situations we were finding ourselves in, it would be beneficial if you would disclose any such information.
Only the Bashal know what exactly happened to them. However, it is broadly known that when the Viuni were at the height of their power, the Bashal were abandoned, I believe, in some capacity. They became enemies. A war ensued with the Viuni, and as far as I'm aware, the Viuni technology wreaked havoc. It has become an almost religious pursuit for them to seek out and destroy anything to do with the Viuni that they can find. Although this information is second-hand at best.
Well, second-hand information is always better than none. And it does match up with some other incidents we've had. So, you said these... looking for the precise terminology. Am I blind?
Probably not.
Right, okay. The temporal entanglement also does provide some enlightenment. Trying to think.
other players can suggest things as well on a
Yes,
player
I know.
level.
I know.
Yes. Go ahead, other
That's
players.
always-
Say things while I try to remember the questions I had.
Even if your character doesn't use
Yeah,
a
I
player,
know. I know.
can have a conversation and discuss what's going on, maybe pose something, or maybe that thing, maybe this guy knows a bit more in that direction, or maybe, oh, you remember that question we had that didn't get resolved, maybe this guy knows about that, things like that, you know?
Right. This is a bit off topic to what's it, but who else is getting Borderlands 3 vibes for this whole session?
I don't know the
I
game.
don't know anything about it, so not me.
Maybe
Not
chat.
me either. I know virtually nothing about the game.
I know expressly nothing about the game. Or universe or whatever.
Yeah. Not really. Maybe chat knows something though. I don't know.
I can't see chat.
If someone does say something about that, I will say so. Right. I'm not sure if we should ask about the Catherine Stadtholz now, like where she is. I don't know if that's relevant now. That's another thing we could.
I
bring
think
up.
I have my thoughts gathered, and that is a key point. So, let's start there. So, to be absolutely clear, the individual who acquired the item, who referred to herself when speaking to us as Catherine Stadtholz. I can talk. You know the name. Anyway.
Yes. Catherine Stadtholz.
Yeah. She is a frequent one who receives frequent patronage from the Keymasters because she is effective and not an actual member.
She is considered a member, however, with limited access. The kinds of operations she is sent on does require her to have certain insights.
Certain insights like information that was only known by the crews of 2 Federation starships.
If you're asking me to reveal how we obtain our information, then I regret to inform you that that is a futile effort.
Interesting. So, as a collector of Viuni artifacts, you would know quite a bit about how some of it functions. Or at least the fundamental principles.
That is true.
So, say a large room which seemed to have some form of transportation technology, along with high radiation output. Would that sound familiar to you?
Well, yes, it is very close to the description of an entanglement chamber, but I don't see why that is relevant.
It is notable. Perhaps with enough details, I will explain why.
Captain, I do not like being on this side of the conversation.
Well, you are the one who has unknown information. We are the ones who have classified information. I would have to answer to my superiors as to why I revealed it to you.
So would I. But let's continue.
Entanglement chambers?
Says, yes, it is the way that the temporal entanglement gets applied to objects or people. Essentially it would be too difficult to explain. It is essentially a Chetrion radiation bath combined with other complicated technologies. Captain, if you are planning to do anything to do with temporal entanglement, I will let you know that we cannot permit this.
I intend to do nothing. However, I suspect that at least one of these chambers has a location in close proximity to individuals who do know about it, though don't know exactly what it does, and would like to make sure it is not a risk to them.
My best advice for those individuals is to either lock it away, destroy it if you can, but whatever you do, don't mess around with it. You can see his antennae kind of straighten in sincerity.
Very well.
Hey, no, VGR, no. Nero's been calmed down by the captain. He said in brackets, Nero in the background, blah blah blue blah blah hoopla.
I believe the exact quote is blah, 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 blah.
Yes, that is much more accurate. Thank you.
Yeah,
Welcome.
pretty much that.
Blah 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 blah.
Anyway,
No, let's just continue with this for.
No, please no.
very well. I will attempt to express the gravity of that situation to those who are working with it, or working near it. Though some of them might not be easy to convince. I will make the effort.
Only time will tell if curiosity wins over.
With humans, it usually does.
That is exactly what concerns me. Just as there's just these three humans just here, just just like, wait, what are you saying about us? But it is true.
Just raising an
It is
eyebrow,
true.
perhaps.
It is true.
Who knows?
And the Bashal being abandoned, you imply that it was the Viuni who abandoned them?
Yes. Either the Viumi or one of the subsidiary states. At their peak, they are said to have had quite the impressive empire.
Yes, yes. One which apparently stretched into Federation space. Unexpectedly. It does make the situation rather precarious. As it is unlikely there's any way to dissuade the Bashal from continuing their activities. While the Viuni technology is a very unknown threat, the Bashal are an unfortunately familiar threat. Bombarding planets and ships alike.
What you speak is the truth. I unfortunately cannot help much with the Bashal. They are, as far as I am aware, a largely nomadic peoples. There is an exception. They have several bases for the construction of their starships. However, we have never been able to gather more information than that. We have never even found one of these bases. But they logically must exist. Correct?
Yes. We had a group of Bashal transport off of our ship, though we were unable to get much more than a general direction in which they traveled.
Has that been followed up on yet?
It was reported. Whether or not any of my superiors have ordered someone to continue the search, I do not know. They have not informed me, and we were placed on a different mission.
Interesting.
Which has raised several other concerns.
At this point, Westaker's communicator chirps. He takes it out, opens it. You can hear a voice saying, you can hear kind of wind and rain in the background saying, "This is Jay Baylor. We haven't heard back from you. We hope everything's okay. There is what appears to be some sort of tour group approaching the premises." Westaker looks at you, Captain, and then responds and says, "Yes, things are under control. Thank you for the information." We should be done soon. Close it.
We will discuss the condition of your away team later. I greatly look forward to reading the reports.
Says, "I bet you do."
But in any case, that is another issue for another time. Well, Dr. Benter, perhaps an arrangement might be in order here.
Any arrangement would have to be made with an individual. We do not consort with organizations. The leadership changes too drastically too often.
Understood. My ship and its crew seems to be involved in these Viuni and Bashal related incidents more often as of late than would be considered normal. If you could make yourself a resource if further questions due to a specific situation arise, then perhaps we could I'm attempting to phrase this in a way which would not make you believe I can do something I cannot. But perhaps a situation may arise when I might have information which would be of use to you as well.
Okay, this is
Or if I might come across a Viuni artifact which I could acquire outside of Federation control and pass along.
Okay, so this is going to be a roll.
Yes.
So this is going to be command plus presence. And I would let someone assist, except the captain's been the only one who's been talking.
Yep.
So that wouldn't really make sense.
Nope.
Oh, don't worry, the infamous tracker. I've got plenty of story seeds. Like, they're just everywhere in my mind. Anyway, so command plus presence. I'm going to set the difficulty. I'm going to set the difficulty to 2, but the complication range I'm going to set to 3.
Right. I have a focus in persuasion,
Yes, that would apply.
That doesn't come into play here. I don't know when it would.
Mm.
We have 3 momentum.
Yes, we do.
I mean, even if the others have been keeping silent, they could chime in. But
No, it's because this. So you would assist if you held a certain amount of sway in the conversation.
Yeah, that is true.
But,
That is true.
yeah.
Yes. The downside to letting me do all the talking
know.
in these situations.
Yes.
It's easy as it is to just let me keep talking, apparently.
Thing
Yeah,
is,
it
Neo doesn't
really is.
actually make any sense, so it won't make sense.
In that case, I would like to buy a die.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Here we go.
Cool. 3 dice, complication range 3, focus, and difficulty 2. Okay.
Now you can
Let's-
succeed at a cost with this.
Yes.
I will give you that.
Okay.
Nice.
Ha!
Hey, look at that.
Whee!
Okay, so
Nice.
you got it back. Congratulations. Now what were those?
One of those was a 17, though. So
Yeah, that was pretty like.
Ooh, a 17, and that's still a success.
Jeez.
That's-
what?
Wow.
How high? Oh. Oh,
Impressive.
17. Oh, sorry. I was
Nice.
like, oh,
that's my highest stat combination. It's literally 17.
Mm-hmm.
nice.
So yeah, on a roll with complication range 3, it's either
Oh.
succeed or complication.
Yeah, I've done that before.
So, the captain is once again very persuasive. She didn't even have to use her nerve pinch this time. And he agrees to your proposition, and he agrees and says, I do believe that it would be beneficial to everyone if we had a positive connection with someone in Starfleet who is as intelligent as you obviously are. You have a deal.
Excellent.
Yes, Eliza, we have a deal, yes. I only just saw that after.
Hopefully, the connection can ease tensions in the future.
I hope for the same. However, it is fair to warn you that not all who are members of the Keymasters are as fond of the Federation as I am. While I do hold a considerable amount of sway, the very nature of our group prevents me from exerting any real power over any other individuals.
Understood. What?
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 What? I thought you said something.
I said well and was going to continue the sentence, but you interrupted me.
Oh, I thought you said.
So I didn't finish.
I thought you said what. So that's
Yeah,
why I didn't
think
know
it
what that was
cut out a
referencing.
bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought like what? Is that what?
It was also very short.
Mhm.
Oh right, that
Okay.
explains that.
Um,
Anyway, please go ahead.
Well, however the pieces may fall, I do hope your endeavors are successful. Though you hopefully won't have to resort
Yes.
to too many illegal actions.
Yes, it is always rather more comfortable to stay within the bounds of the law. I will give you that, Captain.
In that case, I bid you farewell. And I believe we have other matters to address.
Yes, and I have a tour starting soon.
And I will need to form a proper rationalization for why we are not retrieving the artifact that was stolen. Which will be interesting.
Okay.
Right.
So, right. As you gather to leave, or do you want to do anything else, other players, before this wraps up?
Ular runs out the window now.
Good luck with
Zular
the
probably does. We will get that equipment back
Mm-hmm. I was about to say
before the tourists come in.
Yes, of course. Let me take care of that. Push the button,
Right.
get someone to come in, gives the equipment back.
Going now? Cool.
Is anyone going to mention that you messed up their security systems?
Nope.
They'll find out soon enough.
I mean, it might be useful later, who knows? You might need to break in here sometime in the future.
Nah, I'll be fine.
Who knows? Let's just leave it for now, and if they find out,
Hold on. Let
You can
me
fix it.
randomly roll for whether or not
we bring it
Zular
up.
thinks about it.
So also I say, good luck with the tour.
Let's see.
I trust the
Even
visitors
he'll
will
give a
find.
friendly warning, and odd he won't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. A friendly warning it is.
Aww.
Oh, and I guess since we're associates now, I should tell you that the lock for your back door has been jammed, and some wires got loosened in the basement for a force field generator.
It is considerate of you to mention this. You have my thanks.
All right.
So, everybody gets collected. The absolutely soaked other half of the away team, who probably some of them have colds at this point. Everybody gets beamed back. And
What did they do this entire time, actually?
They were keeping guard
Wait.
outside of the fence in case
Ah.
someone came.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
of course.
God, yeah.
So, you get beamed back. is there anything you would like to do before the episode ends? Oh yes, of course, the resolution of what if the search found anything.
Yeah.
But before that, I mean.
That'd be good.
Before that, I mean.
Think Nero gets referred to counseling.
Uh-huh.
Again.
If only there was a ship's counselor on board, that would be a really good idea. We'll get to that in about 100 years or so, that'll be fine.
You might have to look into that.
Mm-hmm.
But
if you want to between episodes, that is something you can do.
Sure.
Okay.
Captain puts out the search for an on-demand counselor aboard the ship.
Good. So.
Okay.
The results of the search of the ship reveals that everything is in order, nothing suspicious, everything seems clear.
Keith Brown can be the counselor.
Yes, that'll... I mean, he's got the necessary liquid tools for it.
Well.
So,
if you would like to volunteer.
Is that everything then? Does the Pathos continue on her merry way towards new adventures?
I think the captain is going to contact the Commodore at some point, but I don't think that's something that needs to be resolved now when we're already so far over time.
True.
It's maybe a scene that might happen between episodes, but we can roleplay it if you want to. During the next one.
Yeah. Well, we can figure something out.
Yeah. And I think that's everything. I think I will probably need to give you some sort of general rundown of what's being reported.
Yes, that would be
at
very
some point
useful.
Within the next week.
That would be very useful, especially for deciding what sort of mission you'll be sent on next.
Yeah.
And if you'll be sent on a mission next.
Indeed. As, the captain is very much disinclined to lie. But also this is a weird situation where, reasonably speaking, there should be consequences and the captain is not pursuing them. So yay.
Plus there's also the whole thing about breaking the law.
Yeah.
The thing is that isn't covered in the reputation system. So we might have to.
Nice.
So
Oddly enough.
At the moment, the reputation system, because we're using slightly altered questions and things. I've got it at version 0.6, so it's still in alpha, which means we might need another clause in there. So anyway.
Although, I mean, if that was a clause for the Enterprise, then their reputation would be in the toilet.
To say the least.
Yeah.
So, maybe not. But yeah.
Wouldn't it be weird if you ended up getting more rewards for this mission? More awards for this mission? You never know, it might happen.
Those would have to be some interesting roles.
Very interesting roles.
But yeah, even if you don't lie, you can omit and you can exaggerate.
Anyway, so
Yes. The classic Vulcan exaggerations.
Precisely.
Okay, so you know the thing about Vulcan exaggerations? Well, Vulcans never exaggerate. So, I think that's it. We should probably end the stream now.
Yep.
So, thank you all very much for watching.
Alright.
It's good to have you all in chat. And the stream will be archived on YouTube. And good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
Let's see if Room Spot is still here. What do you reckon?
I reckon so.
There we
Good
go.
night.
Good night. Yeah.
Good night.
Bye-bye.